Pretty Nerdz. 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 Pretty Nerdz.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Pretty Nerdz podcast. This is your girl Nay. I am flying solo once again this week as Falan DeAnn is out, but no worries, she will be back better than ever next week. So, just to give y'all a heads up, this is probably going to be a pretty short show just because one, I don't have tons to talk about. It's been a pretty not exciting week, and also because I just took some allergy medicine and I probably only got a good maybe 30-45 minutes before I'm going to conk out and go to sleep. So let's go ahead and get right into the hot topics for the week. So first up, we'll start off light. Your boy Nelly, he has announced that he will be relaunching his Apple Bottoms brand from the early 2000s. All the girls used to rock their apple bottom jeans and all that jazz. Are you guys excited? Are we excited for the return of apple bottom? Listen, all I can say is you guys know my motto. You know our motto here at Pretty Nerdz. We root for everybody black. So, another black brand wants to relaunch and bring back fashion for the girls. If it looks good and people want to rock it again, I ain't gonna knock you. Go for it. Support it. I'm here for it. It is what it is. Also, in really kind of quick hitting news, South by Southwest in Austin has officially been canceled due to the fear of the coronavirus breakout. I'm not surprised that it was canceled, I guess I should say, just because there's so much fear-based things going on. People are terrified. I mean, I literally went to the gym last night and there's nobody there. It's like a ghost town in there. I went to the grocery store. It's like ghost. It was like, and listen, Saturday at the grocery store, people, for those of you who grocery shop, it's normally like chaos in there. No, pure ghost town in that bitch. I literally, I guess people are super scared and just I maybe just hauled up in the house. Shit, I don't know. I couldn't do it, but I'm still going out doing what I gotta do. I can't just haul myself up in my home, but yeah. So not super surprised that South by Southwest was canceled. I more than likely, unless they kind of get a handle on it, I expect to probably hear some other festivals following suit, maybe deciding to also cancel, their festival for the year or push it back to later on in the year. Justin Bieber is another person who says that he downsized his tour to smaller venues due to the coronavirus threats and whatnot. Some people aren't buying that. I don't know. Who knows? Some people say it's just due to poor ticket sales. I don't know. Either way it goes, I'm not knocking the guy for that or for anything else in regards to that. So also, I guess the kind of staying in that realm of news or whatnot, the NBA has also kind of warned its teams or went around to all of its teams, letting them know that they should prepare to possibly play games without fans due to, the coronavirus as well. A lot of NBA players feel stated their opinion, including LeBron James, Bradley Beal, just different players in general have come out and said that they don't see the point. They said they might as well cancel the games altogether. If the fans aren't going to be there, then what's the point of playing? I ain't knocking them. I ain't mad at them. I kind of agree. Just cancel the game then. If you're that concerned, also be concerned for the players as well, and cancel the games altogether. They, don't let them play. But yeah. So needless to say, there's a lot of I would expect if they don't kind of get a handle on the virus and how it spreads and just enough kits to, test for it and all that jazz, relatively soon, I would expect to see kind of more big events and events like that making the decision to cancel or push it back. One or the other. Who knows? We shall have to kind of wait and see with that whole thing. Moving on from that and kind of other news, really positive news, I would say. The beautiful Zaya Wade, she stepped out for her first outing at the Truth Awards with her father, Dwayne Wade, and stepmother, Gabrielle Union, serving the kids, looking beautiful, proud, excited, just ready to just live her truth and be herself and be who she is. We talked about this in depth a couple of shows ago. And so we're really not going to rehash that. Just wanted to kind of highlight the fact that she is comfortable now and ready to kind of just live in her truth and not scared to kind of be in front of the camera, be in family photos and pictures and things like that as her genuine, authentic self. So salute to that. I'm always here. Like I said, I'm always here for the supporting of people supporting their children and, taking care of their children and allowing children to be human beings who grow, develop, change, and just become the all around beautiful, amazing human beings that they are, Let me see what else we got going here. Like I said, it's been a really super slow news week. Okay. So I saw, kind of staying in the realm of like kids and things going on. There's a high school. I don't know where. I didn't see it in the article or like see it in the little blurb that I saw. But the headline read basically that a high school principal, she is female, by the way. That's important to point out to the story. I think anyway, but there's a high school principal and basically she has demanded that her female prom attendees must send her a photo of their dress and she gets to decide whether, it's appropriate or not. So she has to give her stamp of approval before, I guess, they can wear the dress or attend or whatever like that. My thoughts seems a little extreme, a little strange and weird. Like, I'm just not comfortable, period, with like adults demanding like photos and shit from kids. Like, that's kind of strange and weird in general, But I mean, but at the same, but like, I guess another reason it's weird to me, because I'm just like, I'm thinking back to like when I went to high school, it was like you wore what you wore, and when you showed up to the dance, they would look at you, and if you are, you show up to any event, the dance, if you showed up to school, the dance, whatever, they, you come in the building, they look at you, and it's like, nah, that ain't appropriate. You gotta go home. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go home. You gotta change, whatever. You can't come up and like. I guess it's just weird to me. Why have them send you pictures, or I don't. You know what I mean? Like that. I guess maybe it's the money aspect. She doesn't want them to spend the money on it, or I don't know. It seemed weird. Like it just seemed weird. Like wanting kids to send you photos of them and kids that aren't your kid. I don't stuff like that just is weird to me. I just feel like, yeah, you're an adult, an authority figure in their life as the principal, but it's kind of overstepping the bounds a little bit. Like, they have parents for that. You know what I mean? Like, if their parent feels it's their parents' money more than likely that's being spent on the prom outfit or whatever like that. So if the parent approved it, then, that's on them. And then when they get to the dance, if y'all see fit and y'all be like, nah, that ain't it, it's against this school policy, blah, 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 then you have every right at that point to turn them, away from the door. And the parent who, agreed to and paid for and all that jazz, has to eat that cost because, hey, they, ultimately had the approval. And when you saw them at the door, it was like, nah, that's against this, that, and other school policy, then hey, they can't say anything because they made the decision to send. But I just feel like yeah, we don't have to overstep like that. We don't have to kind of step in those bounds of like, let parents be parents and do what parents do, and you be a school administrator and do what you do as a school administrator. Like, you don't have to like jump the gun and jump the blurb. There are a lot of amazing parents out there, are amazing parents. They know how to handle their children. So kind of let them, take the lead and do what they need to do. And then as an administrator, if when they get on school grounds and things of that nature, because that's your lane, it's school. As an administrator, if they get on school grounds or at a school function and you see that you feel that it is inappropriate, then you have every right as the school administrator, the authoritative figure, then to kind of be like, nah, you can't come in, or you got to change, or you got to add a coat or something. You know what I mean? Like, let's not cross lines. I feel like, let's not overstep bounds. Let parents be parents and raise their kids. Also in hot topics this week, for our last hot topic of the week, I saved it for last because honestly, I don't really have a lot of words for it. So DaBaby is in the news again for the third, fourth, fifth, I don't know, umpteenth hundred time, whatever. It seems like every time I see something about DaBaby, it is for this exact same reason. There is a video going around of DaBaby at an event where he basically assaults a female fan when he smacked her in her face. He first initially kind of got on and did a video, of course, in his same way that he always does in order to justify it. Oh, they hit me first. They touched me first, blah, 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 blah. According to him, she hit him in the face with her phone, and then that warranted him to smack her in her face, like in the most grotesque, like disgusting ass way I've ever seen. At the end of the day, I feel like in a lot of these situations, people have kind of been on his side or kind of been giving him the benefit of the doubt. When he assaulted that hotel employee, a lot of people gave him the benefit of the doubt because people were like, yeah, makes sense. His daughter was there. He didn't want, people to know his location, their location. It's not safe. Everybody kind of was riding with him and feeling, was like, okay. But at this point, like I said, it just seems like every single other week, it's a pattern with him. We're always seeing this aggressiveness and aggression towards people, towards his fans, just towards people in general. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, in looking at that video, it did seem like either a phone or something kind of went out towards him. But at the same time, it's like you're going through a big ass crowded place like of fans. You know what I mean? It's a lot. People are going to get bumped. Like if you've ever been to like a concert or an event or anything like that, listen, everybody knows, like, I remember I went to like a Drake show or something like that, and one of his opening acts artists came out into came out onto the floor where all the fans were, and it was like chaos. And that was for the opening act. You're DaBaby, you're the headliner, you're the big, the main person, and you're out in the middle of the crowd and amongst all these people. It's going to be a little chaotic in there. There's going to be some elbows, some shoving, all of that. But that's what you have security for, to kind of, protect you and handle that. And, but either way it goes, you're going to expect that there's going to be some, if you're in the crowd, there's going to be some kind of bumps or, this, that, and the other. And from the looks of it, it didn't look intentional. It didn't look like, the girl or whoever it was, because now people are saying that it wasn't even the girl that he hit's phone that hit him in the face, that it was actually a person standing next to her who got bumped and went forward, and the phone popped him in the face, and then he turns around and smacks the girl in the face. So, but needless to say, like I said, I mean, it's a crowd, and you're a big celebrity, and they're excited, and you're in the midst of it. There's gonna be some bumping and pushing, and that's the risk you take when you get in the crowd. And he has this habit of jumping down in these crowds, getting involved in these crowds, being in there with the fans, and expecting that people aren't going to get excited, or there's not going to, you know what I mean? Like, there's not going to be bumping, there's not going to be pushing, nobody's going to not touch him, whatever like that. Stay your ass up on the stage. Have your security right there in front of the stage so people can't reach up, people can't touch you, can't nobody be close to you. If you have these type of reactions all the time, if you're that angry, or that you're that paranoid, or you're that you know what I mean? Like, if you're that paranoid and you're that concerned that somebody's gonna, I guess, attack you, or whatever it is that causes you to react that way, then you don't need to be like, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to have that type of interaction with the crowd. I'm sorry. You just gotta stay your ass up. You can still have an energetic show, still have fun, still talk to people, still do what you need to do without having to have so much of an interaction, without actually having to get in the crowd. How about that? Or having such a big interaction with the crowd without having to walk through the crowd in that way. If you're going to be serving up that type of reaction, because I'm sorry, I can't see like the defense of it. I just can't. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I know a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people shoot him bail a lot of times for his reactions to things, because they're like, well, celebrities aren't zoo animals and blah, blah, blah. And I fully 100% agree with you. The dude who, like you said, the hotel worker was dead ass wrong. You're supposed to be working. You shouldn't be out here trying to film somebody secretly like that, especially when they're with their family. They're a celebrity. It's not safe. Fully get it. He was dead wrong. I do not in any shape or form regards support, putting their hands on anybody else. Like, keep your hands to yourself. There's different ways to handle that situation, but I get the anger behind it in that type of situation. I personally would handle it a little differently, but like I said, I get it, and I can understand the anger behind it. But at this point with him, it's like I can't. I'm sorry. Like, we just can't keep shooting him bail. We just can't. I mean, this is becoming a pattern. It's at this point is becoming a pattern of aggression and violence that we are seeing being demonstrated towards fans and just people in general. And like I said, if you can't have people be that close to you, or you're that paranoid or whatever like that, then you need to take the appropriate measures and adjust to that. If you got to hire 10 security guards to literally surround you in a circle or some shit, so people like create like a little wall so no one can touch you or whatever like that. I mean, if you got to literally stand 10, 15 feet back on the stage away from the crowd, whatever that you need to do. But I mean, but shit, like, you can't just keep attacking people. Like, you just can't keep doing that. I'm sorry. I can't shoot you no bail on this. Like, I can't support that. I can't. I don't agree with it at all. I don't like to see it. I never like to see men putting their hands on women like that. It's just all around just not a good look to me. Not a good look at all on DaBaby's part at all. Just a mess. But needless to say, we'll see kind of where that whole thing goes. Reports are saying that the young lady has, denied, as I stated, she has denied that she touched him at all or that she hit him at all. She says that the phone that he actually felt hit him was from another person who got bumped in the crowd and, ended up popping him. And then he just, turned around and smacked her. And, obviously she's lawyered up. So there's more than likely going to be a case from it, or at least a settlement, is what I'm expecting. Because after he kind of went on that whole little, she hit me first, I'm innocent, pay me, I'll pay 10 grand for people who can get better video. The next thing you know, he shoots a horrible kind of blanket apology, super narcissistic apology, basically, because it was really about, he mentioned himself way more in that quote unquote apology, but he then issues an apology to the woman that he hit or whatever like that. So more than likely it's going to be probably, I would say, a quiet settlement, if she does go the route to sue him. But it is what it is. We'll see kind of how the rest of that plays out or develops as the weeks go on. All right. So moving on from hot topics this week, because that is all that I have, I am going to go ahead and jump into the relationship question of the week. And this week we're going to talk about if you're married, or you're just in like a really, because I know not everybody does marriage these days. Some people just are in, spiritual commitments, or, whatever all the terms are. Shit, I don't know. There's so many different terms now, whether you're in a marriage, spiritual commitments, a super long-term monogamous relationship, whatever your term is that you use for your relationship. Nowadays, it has become quite a popular trend, or we're seeing kind of this trend amongst a lot of these couples where they are going the non-traditional route, in that they are choosing to, be married, or, long-term committed, whatever, but live separately. So basically they live in two separate different houses. They are together, they're committed, they're monogamous, they're, in love, all those good things. Sometimes they share children. Like I said, a lot of times they're married, share bank accounts, blah, 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 but whatever. But they are living in two separate houses. So the relationship question for this week is, would you live in a separate house than your spouse or spiritual partner, or partner, long-term committed relationship person that you're with, whatever? So my response to that is, I don't know. Now, I will say that a while ago, I would have said, absolutely not. I want to live in the same house and be, in the same space and blah, 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 blah. But I'm not going to lie to you. As I read more of these articles about it, and I hear kind of more people speak about it. Yeah, I mean, it don't seem like a bad thing. Like, it doesn't seem like this negative thing around it. It seems like, I would have my, almost like, you have how people have their man caves and, woman caves and everything like that. It's like, that's my house is my woman cave, and your house is your man cave. And hey, it is what it is. We still have our lives together. We still, are committed, married, whatever it is. But I got my space and you have yours. And I can't necessarily see, like, I mean, obviously there are some drawbacks, just because that, when you live with someone, I would say it's a different level of intimacy than when y'all don't. You know what I mean? Like, just sharing a space with someone, the level of that you get to know them, it is exponential. It's just different. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, I can't, like I said, I can't knock someone for doing it differently, for doing it non-traditionally. And like, I can't necessarily say that depending on the person that I'm with and if it feels right and if that's the route we would go. So I guess that's why I say I don't know, because like I can't necessarily say that I would be completely against it anymore or completely like turned off by the idea of it. I don't know. Man, I am just really like, as I kind of examine and grow and change and, continue to live out these years as the human person that I am and just grow and change, like, my ideals on things are definitely, shifting. And like I said, I can't knock people for doing things differently, for just being non-traditional about it. I still would say that I'm still fairly traditional on a lot of things, but there are things now that for me, like I can see the benefits in it, or I can see like why people would want to do it. Like I'm not fully like against it. Like I depending on the situation, depending on who I'm with, depending on how we vibe and just all of that, I wouldn't be fully against it, because again, I'm not a person who in general believes that another person will ever make you whole anyway. I feel like you're your own whole person, and that when you're in a relationship with somebody, that both of you should be coming into that relationship as whole people. You shouldn't be looking for someone else to complete you in life. So you know, I that's why, like, I can't like knock it. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like I can't knock people for doing it, like I said, doing it a different way. So I can't fully be like I'm against it, and I can't 100% say that I would necessarily do it, because, again, like I said, I do know that there's just a level of intimacy that comes with sharing a space with someone. So I don't know if I would want to give that up for just that kind of semblance of my own space. But then again, I can't not be like, I could have my own space and you could have your own space too. You know what I mean? Like I can't. So I'm basically I'm on the fence on it. I'm indecisive on that one. But I want to hear from you guys. Hit the website www.prettynerdspodcast. That's nerds with the Z.com. Email us at prettynerdspodcast@gmail.com, or just DM us on Instagram with Pretty Nerdz Podcast, and just let us know your thoughts. Give us your comments, your feedback. Would you be comfortable with, or would you consider, if you're married or, in a spiritual commitment or long-term relationship, whatever your term is for your situation, would you consider living separately from your partner, spouse, significant other? So, hit us up, let us know. We definitely want to hear from you. We will read some of you guys' responses and all of that and share them with our listeners here on the show. So that is our relationship segment for this week, our relationship question for the week. And now I am going to talk to you guys about new music, books, TV, things that I am currently reading, watching, all of that jazz. So, I haven't, still being very, very honest, I haven't read anything new yet. I haven't picked up a new book in a while, but I definitely think that is going to change, because I think I'm going to order something on Amazon this week just so I can get to, start reading something again. My mind is definitely doing a lot at the moment, so I need to kind of pick up a book and just kind of focus on something for a little bit. As far as TV goes, I haven't watched anything new, but I know that a lot of people felt away, because you guys know I'm a huge Grey's Anatomy fan. A lot of people felt away about last week's episode with the departure, or that was the final kind of goodbye episode for Alex Karev. So I am gonna, talk about that for a minute. First things first, I want to say spoilers. Spoiler alert. If you haven't watched the episode, I will be talking about the episode. So you're going to want to skip this part of the show because I will be giving direct, talk about what occurred during the episode. So that being said, in the episode, it was a goodbye to Alex. So for those people who kind of didn't know, the actor who plays Alex, Justin Chambers, I believe, he made the decision after 16 years to depart from the show in the role of Alex Karev. It was announced earlier this year that he had already filmed his last show, that was like back in November or whatnot. So he hasn't been filming for quite some time now. And, it was just kind of officially announced that he would not be returning to the show. So, of course, they had to find a way to kind of wrap up the character, wrap up the storyline without him being there. So that's number one. So for all the people who are jumping out the window saying they could have at least had him, blah, 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 blah. Literally, they had already addressed that. He already said he was not coming back. He had shot his last scene. He gave his goodbye. That was that. So the fact that if you watched the episode, you saw that that there was a voiceover. So you got to hear him actually, in the episode. Y'all should have been happy with that because I was surprised that they even got that from him. But that just to me goes to show the commitment, at least that he had, or the loyalty that he had to the show and to the viewers to even give that. Because from all accords, he was burnt out. He was tired. He no longer wanted to do the show. He's ready to move on. He's been ready. If you're a fan of the show, you know that there has been rumors for quite a few seasons that he's been ready to kind of walk away. But I think out of loyalty to the show, to the fans, to his castmates, he stuck around maybe longer than he even wanted to. So, needless to say, last episode he gave a voiceover, and the way the show ended was that Alex wrote letters to Mayor, to his wife Jo, to Bailey, to Dr. Weber, and basically let them know that, hey, this is what's happening in my life. When I did, if you watch the 100th episode, not the 100th episode, like the 300th episode, where basically, that it was Mary's trial for her medical license. And he says that when I was collecting all of those letters and people to kind of, speak at your trial, one of the people I reached out to was Izzy. And in reaching out to Izzy, we got to talking, and it was like nothing had passed. All the feelings came shooting back, and come out to discover that she had actually the eggs that that we had. Because if you know, back when she had cancer, she had to kind of go through the procedure to have her uterus removed and all that stuff like that. So she would have never been able to have children on her own. So she, froze her eggs, and Alex fertilized them for her. And back when, they were going through the divorce and whatever like that, and he was with Jo, he asked Jo if she would be comfortable, what they should do with the eggs, blah, blah. And there was never kind of a real, resolution to that. They just kind of left it up in the air. Come to find out that he told her she could do whatever she wanted with them. She kept the eggs. She made the decision to have children, and lo and behold, they had 5-year-old twins. So when Alex found that out, he of course went and he met them, and he made the decision to stay and be with his children, with Izzy, and be a family that he never had, that he always wanted. A lot of people were angry about it. A lot of people felt like it was like regression. A lot of people just, oh, Joe deserved better, blah, blah, blah. And just for me, like as somebody, like I said to myself, I was like, maybe I'm spoiled from just, as somebody who watches, who reads comics, watches a lot of sci-fi and things like that. Like I'm really good at noticing Easter eggs and picking up Easter eggs and kind of following the clues. In my opinion, if you're a fan of Grey's Anatomy, if you have been watching the show from the beginning like I have, then you are 100% aware of you. I mean, this wasn't a shock to you. This wasn't a surprise to you. You knew that he was going to end up with Izzy. If you have watched the show from the beginning. I mean, he literally summed it up for you in the letters. He said that he loved Joe, and we're not going to knock his relationship with Joe because of, for all intents and parts, he did love Joe. But he said it flat out. I love you, but I am in love with Izzy. And for all of us out there who know, there is a difference between loving someone and being in love with someone. So, I mean, it again, there had been Easter eggs in the show since the beginning. I mean, since, in these last couple of seasons, really since the rumors had kind of started flying that Justin was preparing to leave Grey's or that he was contemplating exiting the show. I mean, in that season where he ended up fighting DeLuca and was possibly going to jail, that gave you a little small Easter egg when he was like, well, maybe Izzy was my soulmate or maybe she was it for me. In the episode where they had like the fake Christina, Izzy, and George kind of come back for them, they literally word from word gave you how his storyline was ending. Sans one kid, because then when he gave the little speech about how he envisioned Izzy, he said she'd have 3 kids, and turns out she only had 2. But literally, they gave you how they were going to end this character for you. So I didn't get how people were surprised. I feel like a lot of people were angry because for whatever reason, people don't seem to like Katherine Heigl, the actress who played Izzy. But if you go back and you watch the show, Shonda never disliked the character of Izzy. I don't think that that there was a dislike for the actual character of Izzy. I think it was a dislike for the actress, which is why she got rid of her. But in all honesty, if she would have liked Katherine Heigl, then they were clearly gearing Karev and Izzy to be one of their endgame couples, just as Mare and Derek were supposed to be. Mark Sloan and Mare's sister, I cannot remember her name, Lexi, were supposed to be. Like, they were clearly gearing them up for that. And I guarantee if Katherine Heigl, like I said, if Shonda would have liked Katherine Heigl and she would have stuck around, there wouldn't even have been a Joe and Karev. And if there was, it would have probably been like a small little lover, but he would ultimately end up going back to Izzy. That's just how she was gearing the show up for. So for people to be surprised by, I didn't get it. But needless to say, that's my little hot take as far as Grey's Anatomy is concerned. Because you guys know that is my show. Love Grey's. And I've just been seeing that kind of floating around. So I wanted to talk about that this week in my, new music, new TV, all that type of jazz. Since that's pretty much the only thing I got on. I haven't even really listened to, I know Janae Aiko dropped a record, and every part of me wants to go in and listen to it because I need to listen to it because that is my shit. But I just haven't got around to it. But by for sure by next week's show, I will have listened to it and I'll give my kind of feedback on the album. I know Meg Thee Stallion dropped an EP. I haven't went and listened to that yet either, but I'll probably peep that this week during the gym, because I tend to listen to Meg Thee Stallion at the gym. So I'll probably go in and listen to that this week as well. But that is it for me as far as new music, TV, and books. So I'm going to go right into the nerd moment of the week. And this week's nerd moment is pretty much just about the Syfy channel. So you guys know I am a huge fan of, sci-fi in general, just that whole kind of fantasy, sci-fi, comic, worlds and things of that nature. I enjoy shows like that. I enjoy just that whole genre. And the Syfy channel is probably one of my favorite channels, or used to be anyway, because they used to have really good programming and shows and just things that kind of fed that side of my brain and what I want and what I wanted to see in kind of television. But this week, it was announced that The Magicians has officially been canceled. This season, they're airing right now. Season 5 is its 5th and final season. So when it ends, that is it. We will not be getting another season, another way to close it out. So however it ends this season is the end, and that's that. So I hope that they're saying that the creators kind of knew going in, or they kind of had some wherewithal that this would be the last season. So I'm guessing that they prepared that. So whatever the last show is, we'll kind of hopefully wrap up things and end the series a proper way, as opposed to one of those just weird cliffhanger things. But I guess for me, it's just weird, because I'm like, literally we've seen this kind of pattern with Syfy. It's like every show that they have maybe gets 1, 2, 3 seasons. I mean, The Magicians was lucky to get 5. Killjoy's got 5 seasons. So I mean, they maybe get 4 or 5 seasons before it's just like, they kill a show and we're done. Which I guess is good, because I think the goal for television is to get to maybe 5 seasons, because that's 100 episodes. Because once you get to 100 episodes, that that gives you syndication, so you can still receive residuals and money from that. But it's just one of those things that it's like, with the canceling of The Magicians now, that is pretty much, I think, with the exception of that one Winona Earp show, or Winona whatever show that they have on Syfy, and I think maybe one other show, but that show is getting ready. Is it The Expanse? I don't know. It's one other show on there, but that show is next season is supposed to be its end as well. So at this point, Syfy doesn't have anything else. Like, what original programming do they have that's left? And I think they're saying that in the kind of upcoming season, the new shows they'll be debuting is like a child's play show, I guess based off the Chucky series. And I mean, just shit that I'm just like, really? This is the direction we're going? So I don't know. But for me, it just kind of sucks, because I'm, like I said, where else can we kind of go? Can I kind of go as far as network TV to kind of watch things in that realm? So yeah, that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I'm also sad that The Magicians is being canceled, because as you guys know, I enjoy The Magicians. I enjoy the show. I enjoy the badassery of Elliot, and God, and my mind just went blank. Oh, that Benadryl's kicking in. Elliot and Margot. I enjoy the badassery of their relationship. So I'm going to be sad to see The Magicians go, but it is what it is in that regard. Also, just kind of a quick shout out to Netflix, Locke and Key. It was announced pretty early on after the success of the first season that they would be getting a second season, but it's also been announced that they will not only be getting a second season, but they've already been granted a third season as well. So huge applause to them. I'm not surprised because, as you guys know, it was a really good show. I was big on it. I gave it, I think, an A rating because it was good. Like, it kept me engaged. So, needless to say, salute to them and congratulations to them on that success. So, yeah. All right. That is it for me this week. I don't have anything else. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, for listening to the Pretty Nerdz podcast. Make sure, if you guys are not following us on YouTube, that you do go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit up our website, Pretty Nerdz Podcast. That's nerds with the Z.com for exclusive content. We have a blog that's coming up. Falan DeAnn and I are going to be writing a couple of pieces. Obviously, on the YouTube channel, we have a couple of vlog videos that are kind of just separate. You get to see a little bit more of our personality, just see our beautiful faces and all of that jazz. So, again, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, visit the website, shoot us an email. Again, it's prettynerdspodcast@gmail.com with your relationship questions, any hot topics you want us to discuss, or, if you want us to review music or things of that nature. And we'll be sure to kind of give you a shout out and feature it on the show. But again, thank you guys so much for listening and have a wonderful week. Good night, guys.